So, ladies and gentlemen who are listening to this podcast, um, when you first go on a cruise, you have not established a Castaway club yet. You are a new member, it is your first cruise, but on your very second cruise, you're a Castaway club member because it goes by completed. A completed cruise counts as your first cruise. So you don't really become that to your second cruise. So anyway, um, so on my first cruise, no lanyard, no little gift package when I walked in my room. And other people had them, so I had to ask what that was about. And they're like, "Oh, it comes with this membership of cruising before." So I think back to it's American Express's logo, right? Membership has its privileges. Is that their slogan? Yeah. So we're going to go with that and say that with Disney also membership has its privileges. So, for your first sailing, you don't have a tier. And then for your second, third, fourth, and fifth cruise, you are a Silver Castaway Club member. And when you do that, so when you arrive at your room for the first time, at the very least, there will be a lanyard there. So I know, oh, Dustin's already on it. I um I know this is like a podcast, but some people will watch it on YouTube. So I have my gold one in my hand, and Dustin has a silver one in his hand. And then, but we are both platinum. And we're going to get to platinum, but it starts off with silver, which Dustin is holding, and it moves to gold, which is what I'm holding. And it is a lanyard, goes around your neck, and it's got a holder, and it holds your room key card. Okay, so that's what these lanyards do. They hold your room key card. And that room key is the room to your door and also charging privileges. So if you're going to go buy something, you tap your room key and that you use that to buy. So those are how you use your room key. Um, Also, because Disney is smart and they know people will leave their power on in their room day and night, they made it so that you have to insert a card, and most people have their room key card, into the little slot as soon as you enter the room, and then you could turn all your lights on and the power to the room. And when you leave your room and you have to take your card with you because you need that to get back in the room, all your lights go out. So this is another use for your room key card. Okay, so silver is from your second cruise through your fifth cruise to your fifth cruise. And then
Mhm.
when you have completed five cruises, you move up to gold. And gold is 5 to 10. And then you start getting perks with this membership. So what's the most important perk to you? Or let's do what they are and then we'll go into the perks, okay?
Yeah. And I
Okay.
do
So
want to point out you just by sailing on your first cruise, you're automatically signed up for Castaway Club. You don't have to do
you're
anything. You don't have to go
you're
and sign up for anything. You're automatically signed up.
yes, yes, yes. As you are in the system by having the app, right? You have the app, you're signed up. So, okay, so that's silver, and then gold is 5 to 10, and then platinum is 10 to 25. So that's a big window. But up until just the Wish, platinum is all they had. So once you reach 10 cruises, boom, you were at the top of the ladder. But there are people who have 30 cruises, 40 cruises under their belt. And someone who completed 10 and someone completed 40 had the exact same status. So Disney looked at that and said, okay, we have to make a next level. So they made Pearl. And so Pearl is over 25 cruises, right? You've completed 25 cruises. So on your 26th cruise, you become Pearl. Now, other than other than you get this lanyard of different colors, what are the other perks? Well, we happen to have those. So,
Okay.
your first cruise, you don't have any status yet. So you have to wait for things like excursions, right? So someone who's Pearl can book their excursions. We're actually going to work backward. Someone who's Pearl can book their excursions at 123 days before the date of the sailing. Now, the caveat to that is you have to be paid in full to book excursions. And you may not have to pay in full until 90 days before your cruise. So, so the Pearl person does have to decide how important is it for me to get these things that I want and then agree to pay, even though it's not final payment yet. And that's like stuff that we'll take care of for you as travel planners. We're going to explain those things, but just so that you understand, like there are these differences. And then um, they also get unlimited photo package, which do you ever do the photo package?
So I do it if I'm traveling like with family. If it's a big group of family going. If it's just like, a couple of friends and I who we've sailed quite often, we don't always do it. But yeah, if it's
Mhm.
something where it's a family vacation, we will definitely do it.
So you have 6 people going in a couple weeks. Do you think you'll do it then?
We're actually still trying to figure that out. I do not know.
Okay.
I
I
would
just was
like for
curious.
them to. It's also hard because they've not been, so they don't truly know what to expect. But
Yeah.
I am a fan of it. I do encourage people to get it when possible.
I think especially because only one room has to get it, and for everyone to take advantage of it. So I'm actually a fan of it when it's multiple rooms because they can divide it up and say it'll go on my reservation, but can 3 rooms split it? Because really, as long as one guest shares the information for putting it on the room and have the room number, then it'll fit for everybody. So when it's multiple rooms, I'm a big fan of talking about the photo package. But if you're Pearl, you get it for free. You get an
Yes.
exclusive gift at arrival, and you can choose between a few things. It's like a fruit tray, champagne that's not real champagne, and truffles.
Yes.
I always get the truffles. I don't know
Same.
what you get because you're platinum, and that's also a platinum perk. Um, and then like all the perks that you get from platinum down. Now, Platinum, they can book their stuff at 120 days. Um, and that is important to me. I know for sure that that's important to me. And so from 123 to 120, that meant all the Pearl guests that are on the ship and paid in full get a chance to pick things like cabanas, like Palo brunches, like top excursions that fly off the shelves, or the drinking experiences, like the champagne one is hard to get, right? So those are going to be taken by people who are Pearl and Platinum, and they might not even be available by the time they get to the gold, let alone a first-time cruiser, right? You have to kind of get lucky if you're a first-time cruiser with some of these things. So when I say membership has its privileges, I couldn't wait to be platinum because not only was I going to get a chance to get some of the things I missed as a gold member, but now I was going to get a free Palo brunch because that's perk. That is a perk of the platinum member. Um, we haven't even talked about Palo or Remy or Ashante or anything that's available in the specialty dining. But my favorite meal of all week is going to be my Palo brunch and Palo dinner. I don't care how many days I'm on. I don't care if it's a 4 day. I am booking a Palo brunch. I'm booking a Palo dinner. I get the same. I change up my brunch, but I get the exact same dinner every single time because it's never better than when I'm at Palo. I've tried it other places. No one can compete with the Osobuco anywhere compared to Palo. It's perfection. If you like Osobuco, take a Disney cruise. We're going to get you on Palo by hook or by crook so that you can have the Osobuco.
That's great. Yeah, I love it. I love Palo Brunch is my number one go-to. Palo Brunch.
Yes.
I couldn't dream of doing a Disney cruise without Apollo brunch being included. Now I have
Mm-mm.
a couple where it just didn't work out, but yes, Apollo brunch, the number one thing I'd recommend for anything extra that you want to do.
Yeah. And then when you get to gold, gold is, I mean, you get, your onboard gifts. There are a few onboard gifts that you get with your gold. But you go down to 105 days. So now that's a big window. So from 123 to 120 to 105, a lot of those reservations start to go. So when I was gold, I could not wait to get to platinum because I'm like, all those things that I've missed, I'm going to be Johnny on the spot and I'm going to get them. And so far, I have. Um, and then 90 days for silver Castaway Club members. But um, I love that you said you don't have to do anything to be a member. You just have to sail to be a member. And believe me, it gets addicting. Not only does sailing get addicting, but wanting that next lanyard. It's so funny how important it becomes, right?
It's really funny too because you'll be on a Disney cruise and you'll just you'll be in a lounge, you want to be in a bar, you'll sit down and just start talking to somebody random, and you'll find yourself immediately drawn to how many Disney cruises have you been on? What ships have you been on? And you'll just conversations just go from there. It's so easy to start conversations that way. And yeah, everybody's always talking about I have this many more cruises until I get to this level and whatnot. It's great. Again, it goes back to we're all one big family.
And you know what? I was just going to say, we're all like-minded, right? The one thing I will say about when you get on that cruise, and let's just talk about real world for a second. Right now, especially be it in real world, there's so much divisiveness and people who can't agree to they can't agree to disagree, right? Right today. In today's world, we can't agree to disagree. No, I have my opinion and I'm stuck to it. So that disappears, doesn't it? I mean, you could, right?
Yeah, I mean,
It disappears.
world is rough, life is hard. To actually get on a ship and really escape reality. I think that's another thing I was trying to explain earlier too, comparing like a Disney World vacation to a Disney cruise vacation. It's just a whole different ballgame. You truly do sail away from
Mhm.
reality. It is what it is, and it's just a way to break away from the world, all your troubles. Yes, they're going to be there when you get back, but you need a break. You need to take care of you because if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of others, whatever you have going on in your life.
Right. Right. And I definitely say that no one's, even people, they might be checking the news, right? They might check the news, but no one's talking about it, which I just love. I love it's not a topic of conversation. No one's starting a conversation about what happened in the news or what happened in the government or what happened in the this or did you hear that? It just doesn't happen. Gosh, maybe one of my favorite things now because I didn't even think about it until we're having this conversation where really so much melts away from reality and you just live in this little fabulous bubble for a short time. And I find that I want those times to be longer and longer. I try to always have my longest cruise possible, but 10 is my longest so far. That's my longest cruise so far.
I will add a
But
disclaimer for those, who need your sports, your football, your soccer, whatever it may be, you have full access to that on the ships. The pubs will be showing the games. You can watch the games, on ESPN right in your room. So don't think, you got a couple guys like I can't go and be away from my sports. My buddy and I will go to the pub and watch a game. Like you still have access to that. So don't worry.
how funny you say that because I was on a ship for Super Bowl this year. And then when I met with a family who's taking a Disney cruise, and we were having our meeting to go over all the Disney cruise details, right? To sit down, to show them things, to talk about the app. We're doing all the good stuff, right? And
Mhm.
they're like, I've been on three cruises now that had the Super Bowl coincidentally. And I'm like, coincidentally? Okay. So I like going in that month, apparently. Um, but she's like, they made it really fun. Really, really fun. And I thought to myself, I was on one last year during Super Bowl, and yes, they make it very fun.
Yeah. Yeah. So whether
Yeah,
you might not even really be into football, but if there's something
yeah,
special going on, they got you covered.
they got you covered. I do know also, we did say no casinos, right? And people, they have a drink of the day. Do you do the drink of the day?
Yeah, absolutely. I do sometimes. So, and that I was thinking that when you were mentioning it earlier, how there's no drink package. It's like, no, but there are drinks of the day, 7, $8 a drink, um, that I know a lot of people love, and it's different each day. So, yeah,
I like and they tend to be tropical, the fruity, delicious tropical drinks. They're colorful, right? So they're attractive to look at when people are walking by with them. Um but
great for
yes,
social media
yes,
posts.
great for social media posts. They are they are at a reduced price. So
Yeah,
even though there's not a drink package, I think Disney even says that's not our brand. Our brand is not unlimited drinking, and though we are great for adults only, we are also a family brand, and so our brand is never going to have unlimited drinking. So, and then the casino also fits with the brand. The brand is not having a casino aboard. So those are things to know before you go on, especially if you've cruised with other cruise lines which have those packages. Um, let's see. I feel like we've done quite a bit. Was there
yeah.
something we didn't say that you were thinking needed to be said?
I guess high level, can we just talk about real quick what you get with a Disney cruise? That
Absolutely.
main that you're paying, nothing extra, just the main price to get on the ship. What all do you get with that price?
Okay. So,
So
your room, right? And
yeah,
in a way, you can choose the cost of your vacation by choosing your room, right? So if you have a budget, they make room for that budget by changing your room. My favorite way to do it for people, just so I say it, is an ocean view instead of a balcony. Uh, who doesn't love a balcony? But for me, I do not sit on mine. I mean, honestly, my balcony might get 10 minutes of use. 10 minutes. I don't have the patience to just sit on a balcony. There's so much to do aboard the ship. I don't have the patience to sit on a balcony. And we can save you hundreds of dollars by not having a balcony. And it doesn't change your room size. That's the other thing. It doesn't change your room size. So you get your room, you
yep.
get all of the food in the dining rooms and in the quick services, whether it be the cabanas buffet or the top deck foods.
Yep.
Um, those are like and
And room
your non-alcoholic beverages. So those are the top three that people think of. But there's more.
service.
Dustin.
You also get room service, which you can order 24 hours a day, which is great. But you also get Broadway quality shows.
Mhm.
Most cruises, you'll get 3 different Broadway shows every single
Mhm.
sailing. And the beauty is too, if you keep going back with Disney Cruise Line, there's different shows on different ships.
Yes.
So definitely a highlight. And I've been on 16 cruises and very rarely, I mean, I do skip a couple of shows just because I've been on so many, but the majority of the time I am still going to the shows. I know there's not many people say that, but I love them. I think they are fantastic. Um, Most itineraries you'll get fireworks at sea in the evening, which is
Yep.
really cool to see. That's exclusive to Disney. And then Of course, let's talk about the character experiences.
Word about characters yet. Yes.
Yep, yep, you get so
Okay.
many and unlimited, right?
Yes. So there's another thing that we talked about if you're a thrill ride person, if you really like rides, maybe isn't cruise for you. But if you like characters, oh my gosh, this is an amazing place to have a vacation because they're there, they change clothes. There's a pirate night. We didn't talk about pirate night. There's a pirate night that, that everybody comes out in their pirate apparel, characters, and then also like live action characters, like, Captain Jack Sparrow is aboard, and then a few others, but it's just like, that is very popular. Men, women, children, it doesn't discriminate. There are like, you will find adult, 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 kid, adult, 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 kid,
So
right?
true.
In the lines.
And yes, and going along with that theme, adults, you'll see a lot of adults in those lines, but there's also adult exclusive activities. There's nightclubs,
Mm.
there's clubs, there's live music, there's adult only swimming pools, there's adult only whirlpool spa. Um,
Oh my God, we talk about this.
I
I
know.
mean, like this podcast is going to be long, but um, yes. The spa. Oh, holy cow, the spa is amazing. And you want to talk about an elevated experience. The spa is amazing. Now, that's not with your cruise, though. It doesn't come with your cruise. You have to pay for the spa, but it is spectacular, spectacular. Um,
There
for
is a
our
whirlpool
11th.
jacuzzi in the adults only area that you will get access to though without paying extra.
Yeah. And there is um okay, so wait, pools. Did we say pools? Because now we went a little bit off on a tangent.
Sorry about that. Yep.
Yeah. Characters,
Yes,
it
so
got me like,
movie screenings. Sometimes first run Disney movies will be played right on your ship at midnight
yes.
when they premiere. There are clubs for kids, tweens, teens, all based on your age group. Um, and then, of course, you get television, you get in-room movies. Also, not many people want to talk about it when they are going and eating all this food on a cruise, but there's also a really nice fitness center.
There is. And there's a medical center, right? It's not included though. But I mean, they will include things like I need Dramamine. I mean, things like that are free. But if you have to see a doctor, there is a cost for that. But they have it aboard, so you should know that it's available. Really, more is free than you can imagine. Nope, included. More is included in your cost than you can imagine. It really is. Oh, and then when you're on the island, there's also full meals set up on the island, ice cream on
Wow,
the island, pop or soda on the island, um, music, entertainment, the entertainers, piano
that's
players,
all
jazz
of your items.
singers.
They'll have beach towels, beach chairs, umbrellas. You don't got to bring, you don't got to pay for. They'll have those all waiting for you on the island.
Yeah. Yeah. Another thing. Transportation, the transportation to from things, whether in you're on the island also, um,
Yeah.
is part of it. And again, that is not every brand offers that. You're just walking it. But if you want the service to get a ride, there's costs. So there is
Also,
not with Disney.
coffee, tea, the pop, the ice cream, they have that on the islands as well.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
great. It's so
So,
much.
so much is included. So much is included. And like I said, it's more than you can think of initially. I mean, we're sitting here spitballing a little bit and coming up with the other thing. Oh, and this, oh, and that. Um, but yeah, so much. I'm excited. I'm excited. I want to cruise like tomorrow.
No, I know.
That's what's when you do these podcasts. The last one I did Disneyland, and then I was just like, I gotta go to Disneyland. And now we're doing cruise, and I'm like, I gotta go to another cruise. I've got
Right.
to.
Yes.
So your next cruise is on the Fantasy. my next cruise that is booked is on the Destiny.
Yes.
I'm going to book an impromptu cruise. There's no way I can wait until December to take a cruise. But that's the next one I have booked. And then Dustin and I and two other people are booked on
Disney Adventure.
the adventure. We haven't even talked about it. It's not out yet, but it is the largest ship. Do you have the factoids on the largest ship?
Yeah, I think I got some. So the Disney Adventure, it's going to be exclusively sailing out of Singapore, Asia, starting this December. It is also built in Germany, just like the most recent Disney cruise ships. We just recently learned that the bow of the ship is going to have Captain Minnie and Captain Mickey, which I know a lot of people were really excited about, myself included. And like I said, this ship has been built in Germany, but it's going to be unlike any of the other ships. It's pretty much going to be a class of its own. I know we spent some time earlier talking about the different classes of the different ships. This is just all out there on its own. It's going to be elevated. It's going to be exclusive, I feel. It's going to be exquisite and it's going to be entertaining. So I'm very, very much looking forward to flying over to Asia with you and experiencing this ship. I think we're going to be on it for 9 days total, something like that. So it's going to be an incredible journey, and yeah, I'm just so excited. It's kind of a bucket list trip for me, that's for sure.
Well, I am excited. Um so if you do not know, all these other ships that we've talked about previously, they all go someplace, right? Eastern Caribbean, Western Caribbean, the Bahamas, the private island, the other island that's a private island but not really owned by Disney. They all have locations, Alaska, Europe, right? The Singapore ship just goes out to sea. So that is very different, right? It's very different to have it just going out to sea. And because the ship is the attraction, there are 10 restaurants. There's so much to do. I mean, so much to do that we're doing a back to back, they call that. So this will actually be, that will be my first back to back cruise. How about you?
Yeah, it'll be the same for me. Yes.
Okay. So there are a few perks to a back to back. And the one that I'm most excited about, actually, it's such a stupid thing to be excited about, but I cannot help myself. It's the little things in life.
Yes.
When you do a back to back, when you're on your second cruise, the back to back, so the very first person who gets to go aboard that ship is the family of the day. After the family of the day are the back to backs. So you're going to get to be on a ship essentially with just the people who are with you in the back to back, cargo area. And then concierge, and then they start the roll call 1, 2, 3, group 4, group 5. So I love that we're going to get to do the back to back in Singapore, and we're going to get that incredible ship, and it's going to feel like to ourselves, right? We just have to pick and choose where we go that day. Um, when I was on the Treasure, I was very lucky to have boarding group 1. And I mean, like, because there was a large group of people waiting to get on, and they were like trying to keep the people back. And I was on a preview cruise, so we didn't really have back to backs, right? So it was like waiting, 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 and just waiting to get on. So they did have some people who got to go before us, and they did have concierge that like special guests that got to go before us. But I was able to get places and run places. And because the ship, because it's similar to a different one, the Wish, I was able to get to areas I wanted to get to and get some filming done. Um, So we won't have that because we're not going to know. But on the second cruise, we will know what we need to get a picture of that doesn't have people in it because it'll be the second cruise.
Yes.
Also, we're a bit of smarties over here, and we talked about which cruise we would take to Singapore. Which cruise. And it occurred to me that over in Singapore, the Lunar New Year Festival was going to be a bigger deal than anywhere else, right? So I said, let's do it. Let's go one cruise not on the Lunar New Year, and then the very first cruise on the Lunar New Year and see what they do differently on the ship. Um, I'm fairly certain there will be a difference between the cruises. I'm fairly certain there will be decor differences from cruise number one to cruise number two because they can turn an entire ship over from not Christmas to Christmas and not Halloween to Halloween. So I'm fairly confident there will be something that changes for the Lunar New Year, right? You feel that?
You, I really do. I'm so
Yeah.
excited. Awesome.
Yeah. So we are doing that in February. So do you want to take a trip of a lifetime over to Singapore? We are actually, I do have another family that is interested in going, and I was talking with them, and they were going to go in December. And, they live in Columbus. So I'm like, don't go. I mean, like, you're going to have some hometown people with you if you go in February. Join us in February. Like, she's from Mentor, my hometown, moved to Columbus, Dustin and Robert's hometown. And then I said, you'll have people from where you lived there that you could kind of bounce things off. We could all talk together. And
Yeah.
she's like, I'm talking to my husband about it. She goes, we were going to go in December, but maybe we should wait till February. So that's the current plan. If you want a vacation of a lifetime and you want to try Singapore, we're putting it together. So join us. We would love it.
Yes, reach out. And in case anybody was wondering, February is a colder month here for us in the States. That is not the case in Asia. It is very nice weather over there in February.
Yes. Right. That's a great point. Um, So one thing that again, it's it all like a life situation. So over in Asia, being the Lunar New Year, it's also their festival. It's their festival and their time for time off. So I'm trying to decide, is that when they leave their area to go other places? Maybe that second ship will be filled with locals, meaning just the local region, because they'll have a chance, they'll be on holiday. Like whole areas take off that week. So one of the people who work here works in the fashion industry, and he'll say the first week of Lunar New Year, like all their factories close down, all the fashion factories close down because it's holiday. So it's like, where do they go during that? Where do they go during holiday? And will it be aboard the Singapore ship, the Adventure?
Oh, wherever they go, they are welcome to join us.
Of course, they are welcome to join us. And you are welcome to join us because we would love to get a little crowd going. There's so much to do. Are you familiar with Duffy the Disney Bear? Because it'll be the first ship that features Duffy the Disney Bear. And I talked about it during the podcast for Disneyland that he became an Asian phenomenon. He was not born in that region, but he became an Asian phenomenon, and he's like a superstar in the Asian market. And so Duffy and Friends is going to be on the ship, and so that's a little bit important to me. I have a daughter who's Duffy obsessed, so it's a matter of fact, it was like, wait a minute, you're going on the ship with Duffy? I'm like, I am. Am I going? I'm like, we'll discuss that at a later date.
And also, one of the main
Got it.
dining rooms on this new ship is a character dining experience.
I know.
Hollywood
Which,
Spotlight Club.
yes, but we know what we didn't talk about at all. We needed it to be part one
There's
and
a
part
lot
two.
we did not talk about, and there is a lot that we
There's a
did.
ton. I know, really. There's a ton we didn't talk about, but we didn't talk about the dining rooms that are experiences.
Yeah,
Should we write it down for part two?
yeah, let's definitely do a part two.
Like, do we keep talking or do we cut this into two podcasts?
Everybody's
Um,
listening, like, it's taken us this long to get through this.
I know. I know. It's the Disney Cruise Line is so vast. And it's funny because up until a few years ago, we only had four ships. And really, it didn't change how vast it was. It just offered more options. You know what I mean?
Correct.
But do you have a favorite experience dining?
That's hard. I mean, I would like to say ask me in November and it's going to be the new Lion King restaurant on board the Destiny. Um,
Okay.
right now, I really like Tangled on the Magic,
Uh-huh.
like the Tangled experience. Celebrating her birthday, I like everything about that. But I mean, honestly,
Yeah.
I'm a fan of all of them. They're really great. Do you have a favorite?
I I think I do. I love Tangled. I love Wonders Tiana, the Tiana Bayou one too. Um I was not a super fan of the Wishes Marvel. Okay. The Wishes Marvel.
Yep.
But the Treasures Marvel, I was a huge fan. So that's different because they changed the experience. And I love the change of the experience at the Treasure. Mostly because I'm competitive and it's a trivia thing. So now, the thing you hit the buttons to answer questions. Do you know this?
Yes.
Okay. So the trivia, there's what is that called? The quantum core, the quantum core. So the quantum core on the Wish, you're hitting buttons to the same time everyone else is to shrink
Yeah.
the ship, to grow this, to do that. But on the Treasure, it's trivia. And if you hit the button the right color or the wrong color, your thing lights up. So I love that. Um, as far as talent goes, there's the Arendelle talent I love on the
I think
Wish, but I do not like the food at that restaurant. I really don't like the food at that restaurant. It, I just don't like it. It's not my vibe. I do not like the flavors at that restaurant. So it is like there's a lot of Norwegian things, there's a lot of fish. So it limits me a lot because of that. So I love the entertainment. Now, the treasure, the so you have two dining experiences at Coco. Plaza de Coco on the Treasure. That is both a wonderful show, wonderful. And the food, well, we had second night food. We didn't get first night food, we had second night food. Oh my gosh. Well, you start with chips and salsa and guacamole. So, I mean, like, that's not hard to go right there. You're just starting with chips and salsa at your table.
my
And
heart. Oh, yeah.
then right. And then we have uh empanadas, enchiladas, and fajitas were all on the menu. And we ordered everything at that restaurant because we were like, try this, try that, try this. And then they had churros with dulce de leche ice cream for dessert.
Not bad.
I mean, they had other stuff too, but that's what I got. I got the
Sure.
churros with dulce de leche ice cream.
Yeah.
That is so good. I think that's my favorite of all of the entertainment ones is the Treasure Plaza de Coco because the food is slamming and the entertainment. I mean, the songs of Coco are just they're catchy, right? You know them, and they have a live mariachi there, so they actually hired. They didn't have cast members playing a mariachi. They hired a mariachi. They did a casting call. And what's interesting, because we got on the preview chip, um, they did a casting call not for a band, individuals.
Very
And
cool.
they did not pick a band. They picked a singer. They picked someone who did the accordion. They picked someone who did the guitar. And I was like, wow.
It's
Because
impressive.
it was seamless. They were like, we're picking, there's always someone that carries the band, right? And they weren't going to have that. So they picked individuals, and then those three people had to become their own band and their own mariachi. Isn't that great?
Really cool.
I,
Really
I
cool.
love it. I love Disney, and that's my favorite. My favorite is a treasure. So it's kind of hard because you haven't done it yet. So it's hard
Yeah.
for you to say. Um, and I really like the Treasures Marvel experience too. So I thought it needed something elevated that elevate that one. And now to do trivia, I love trivia. So, oh, and I know I have, I love trivia. We did not talk about the free trivia, the included trivia that you could go to. So on Facebook, if you're watching, or if we turn this into a YouTube reel or something, um, I love going to trivia, and Chip and Dale are my favorites. They're just my favorites. I have so much fun every time I see Chip and Dale. So, we get to this one trivia, and I'm like, family, we got to focus here because I need that Chippendale ribbon and the Chippendale award. So I was just, I mean, like, 'cause, instead of being silly or losing focus or leaving early, no, we were going to focus and we were going to do it. And it was ridiculous, but we won. And I'm like, see what we can do when we put our minds to it. So we have some Goofy ones, some Mickey ones, and some Chip and Dale ribbons from being a winner on Disney Trivia. I think it was on Disney Shorts is what we won on. But we always watch the features, at a movie, we always watch the shorts. So
Yep.
like, knowing what those are called and what movie it was with. And I have a daughter who has like a photographic memory. It comes in handy. So she's like, that played before Princess and the Frog. And I'm like, wrote it down. And I kept relying on her. I'm like, Lauren, what do you think that was from? You could see her like thinking, like thinking. And she'd be like, "Ah, I got it. And we won. And people wanted to see, I think because it was such a competitive one, people were like, did you really get 19? And I'm like, you could see my sheet. I'm like, we got 19. All right, Dustin, before we wrap this up, I
Yes.
went to ChatGPT and I said, please give me some medium to hard trivia questions
Oh no.
just for fun. Okay,
Just for fun.
are you ready? We need suspenseful music right here. Um, which Disney ship? Oh, this is not fair. Never mind. I can't do that one because it's actually a little outdated. Which Disney ship has Rapunzel featured on the stern of the ship?
And the mind goes blank. Oh my, is this a wish?
Is it the what?
Wish
Wish. Yes, the Wish has Rapunzel on the back of the ship. Yes.
from the king of
Is there
second guessing.
what is the minimum age for the Small World nursery?
Oh, 6 months.
6 months. Correct. Yes. For transatlantic, it's 1 year. So
Yes. Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, but 6 months. So again, I tell people have your kids be 3 years old and out of diapers before you cruise. For people who are going with families, of course. 3 year
Yeah.
old out of diapers. They can start the kids clubs. 3 years old out of diapers. I mean, I don't know how magical the nursery is. It's beautiful, but magical, I don't know because they're under three.
But and I
Six
will
months
say
to 3 year old.
Disney Cruise Line, you can request to have a pack and play put in your stateroom on the ship. So that is also nice
Yes,
for parents with little ones.
correct. Um, what is the name of the spa that provides spa services on the Disney ships?
Census Spa.
Senses Spa. Yes, there you go. Um, what is the logo of the concierge lounge?
Oh, is is it Keys?
Keys. Yeah, the Keys Club. Yeah. I mean, people say it's the concierge lounge or the Key Club. Yeah. What is the second ship of the Disney fleet?
A Wonder.
Mm. What is the adult only French restaurant found aboard the Disney Dream and Disney Fantasy?
Remy.
Have you eaten there?
No. That is
Oh,
the only that is the only one I have not done yet. Is Remy.
okay. Oh, so you've done Enchanté?
Oh, nope. I guess I lied. Yep. I haven't done either one of them. So
Okay.
I was thinking
It's
the treasure,
hard.
but yes. So the
You know what?
Enchanté I've not done.
Okay. It's hard
Horrible
to
thing.
give up Palo for any other brand,
It
right?
really is, especially on the Wish for Enchanté, because you're only doing a 3 or 4 night. So,
Right.
you got to
Yeah.
pick and choose.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. The name of the water attraction on the Disney Wish.
Aqua Mouse.
Yes. Okay. So we have the Aqua Duck on the Dream and Fantasy. We have the Aqua Dunk on the Magic. We don't have any Aqua anything on the Wonder. And we have the Aqua Mouse, which they call the first coaster at sea, first water coaster at sea. And it's on the Wish and the Treasure and will be on the Destiny. But they changed the story. So the story of the Wish is one story, and the story of the Treasure is a different story. And I'm sure the Destiny will be one different from that.
Yeah.
Huh. Huh. Uh, what is the name of the spooky bar aboard the Disney Treasure?
Oh, Haunted Mansion. Parlor.
Hmm. Haunted Mansion Parlor.
What did you think of it? Real quick.
Okay. This
This
is
is for
coming
part
from
two
someone.
of our podcast.
Yeah. This is coming from someone who doesn't even ride the ride. Okay. I don't ride the ride. I do not ride the ride unless I'm with someone who says we must ride the ride
Okay.
because I just don't care for it. It's the smell of that ride that I don't like.
That's
It's not the ride I don't like. The rides, there's nothing to it that would be like, "Oh God, this ride." But every ride has a scent, and that
yep.
particular scent I don't like, so I don't ride it. So, but when I'm there with people that insist, I ride it. Okay. Now, so that little caveat. So you walk in and it's got the wallpaper and
Yeah.
all this hustle and bustle. So it's very busy because, of course, it's very popular. So it's very busy. So the fish tank is cool. And you go, how are they doing that? Because there are swimming fish skeletons, in
Wow.
the projected into the fish tank. So it's very cool. But honestly, the first two times I was in it, I was just a little underwhelmed.
Okay.
But then the third time I was in it, I went and happened to be there when it comes to life. I didn't know that. I didn't know it because I never stayed long enough the first two times. But the third time I was there, the show part of it came on. And then I was like, whoa, right? And I start filming everything because it's like, oh my gosh. So all the pictures fade and then the skeleton appears and it's singing and the song comes on and it's like, oh, this is what people are talking about.
Yeah.
Um, I didn't get any drinks there.
Okay.
I really liked Periscope Pub.
Oh, okay.
It's more me. It's just more me, right? So it's adventure. Do you know anything about Periscope? So when you're looking up or on the floor, so you might have, so you're like in a sub, right? And you
Mhm.
have glass above and below you. So you could see sharks underneath you, above you, other animal life too, going right. And it looks like it's skimming your ship.
Sure.
Very cool. Very cool. I also, the signature drink of the Periscope Pub, I happen to love. So for me, I spent my time in Periscope Pub.
Okay.
Um, so anyway, let's see. Which kids club is for 11 to 14-year-olds?
Oceaneer.
No. Oceaneer is 3 to 12.
Yeah.
And then there's that little
Oh, is this
overlap.
the
Some
tween?
11 to tween is Edge, and
Yes.
then teen, 14 to 17 is Vibe.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Um, I have the benefit of having kids. So I've had my kids go all the way through from their first cruise at 4 years old to their last cruise. I had a 19 and a 17-year-old. So I've even had one age out already. One really nice thing that they did when the Wish came along was started an 18 to 20 club in an actual location. So that is on the Disney Wish and the Disney Treasure that they have Hideaway. And so when they have an 18-20 club item, some of that will happen in Hideaway.
And don't they have like a smoothie bar or something in it?
They do. I mean, like they'll have a smoothie
Yeah.
time, right? So it's not there during the day or something,
Another
but
24
like
hours.
on your app, it'll be, 8 to 10 p.m. smoothie. And then they go there and do that. But they even have that at Vibe at sometimes. I don't think my kids ever missed it. They loved going there for smoothies.
I was talking to a couple people who really enjoyed it. That's why I pointed that out.
Yeah. Yeah. But the 1820 club, I was glad that they added because my daughter was feeling
Yeah.
like I'm not your kind of adult yet. I just turned 18 and I can't go to Vibe anymore. What am I
Sure.
going to do? And I just said, let's search for the 1820 stuff. And she did it. She did all of it and she loved it. So
Yeah.
that made me happy. Okay, let's do one more and then
All
we
right.
should close out. Let's see. Um, what type of sailing features characters like Spider-Man, Thor, and Iron Man?
What type? Oh, Marvel Day at Sea.
Marvel Day at Sea. Um, I've done a Marvel Day at Sea. They no longer have Star Wars Days at Sea, but I kind of hope they bring them back. I kind of hope they bring them back. Um, the Star Wars Day at Sea went away when Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser was created. Well, now that that doesn't exist anymore, I hope they have Star Wars Day at Sea again. But the Marvel Day at Sea was incredible. I am a
Yeah.
Marvel girl. I love Marvel. So I was gaga, honestly, over it. It was from 8 in the morning till midnight. They had Marvel activities all day. I mean, and you could meet everybody, get pictures with everybody. I had Black Widow teach me how to do her thing where she flips her hair up like that. Like
Uh,
she was like doing, like she would sit with you and do pictures with you and say, "Would you like to pose like me?" And then say, "Okay, put your foot here, plant this one here, drop your hand down, whip your hair up." It was so fun. Hawkeye and Natasha were always together, right? So I got my
yeah,
picture with Hawkeye, did the whole, pulling back the bow thing.
that's
It was
awesome.
a it was a blast. It was a blast. I loved the Marvel Day at Sea. I want to do another one. They are so fun. And again, they're a five-nighter, and I kind of like that's a nice sweet spot, a five-night, if you because it includes some of the weekend. So it's kind
Yeah,
of like you don't miss too much of work, you know. And if you like Marvel, there's Avengers Campus in Disneyland, California Adventure, and there's Marvel Day at Sea, and they are both spectacular.
that's awesome.
All right. Well, we've got to wrap this thing up. I know there's so much more to say, but how do you want to wrap your portion up?
Oh my. I mean, honestly, I just wanted to really just thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. I hope that, I guess what I hope people got out of this is just my love for Disney Cruise Line and how I truly am passionate for the product. I'm not here just to be here. But like I said, I am on Instagram at Dustin on Deck for DCL. My DMs are always open. If anybody has any questions, comments, anything I should know, anybody want to connect, or if you're going to be on a sailing that I'm going to be on, just reach out. I'm here to help any and everyone. I just truly love Disney Cruise Line and sailing with Disney. It is truly magic at sea.
It really is. Oh, where the magic meets the sea. Let's use their courage. It's so funny because I know some of the former kind of catchphrases, but it is truly where magic meets the sea. It really is. And I thank you so much for coming on. I did when we were preparing this podcast. Whenever I get on the phone with certain people, are I know what we're going to end up talking about, and we talk and talk and talk, and we can barely stop talking because we love it so much. Um, I do tell people I don't sell travel. I talk about travel. I love travel. I love Disney. I love going to Disney. And I just hope that when I share a story, it's making people go, I would love to have an experience like that. I'm not out there going, it's funny because in the travel world, they'll say, "Are you an order taker?" I am not an order taker. I'm not going, okay, now this, and then check that box, and okay, here's your package. It's $3,000. Let's go. No, that's not how we are here at Visit Mickey. We really talk to you, learn about you, and we want you to have the magical moments that we've had. I mean, clearly we have had magical moments and we can go on and on and on. And it's funny, we've really even talked about for a lot of firsthand experiences, but because we're trying to give facts and stuff, but some of the most amazing things have happened to me on the Disney cruise. And just, God, I'll do like a 30-second version of this story is I got a call from my daughter. It was a trip I was taking with a coworker, and I got a text from my daughter that my husband went to the hospital. Dad's in the hospital. And I was like, okay, I need to know more. And so we're texting because I can't call her. And so I went down to the desk and I told them what was happening. And they said, we're going to turn your Wi-Fi into unlimited Wi-Fi. We're going to give you, because that's not a package they had at the time. And they're like, we're going to give you 1,000 minutes. And do you want to make a ship to shore call right now? And I'm like, oh, I don't know. And they're like, we'll take care of it. We could see you're worried. Do you need to make a ship to shore call? And I said, well, he's in the hospital, so I can't call him. So no, but maybe tomorrow. And they're like, we got you. And even that, right? Like they
Yeah.
saw my face, they knew that there was distress. They offered me all they could offer me. Now they do actually have an unlimited Wi-Fi package, but this was a couple years ago when that didn't exist yet. But they
Sure.
still offered it to me. They said, we're going to give you 1,000 minutes. If you get below 200, come back. We'll bump you up to 1,000 again. And we'll just keep bumping you to 1,000 through the rest of the cruise. They called and checked on me every day for the remainder of that trip and sent me a bottle of champagne to the room and said, we know you're going through a lot right now. Here's something from us. We are so concerned. Please keep us up to date on how your husband is.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
I mean, really, that
Yeah.
was the kind of experience where they're there.
Yeah.
And that's a story, like I haven't even told Dustin that story. It's the first time he's hearing it, but
Yeah.
that's the Disney difference. And it's
And
something we didn't discuss.
that's the reason why we don't sell this product to others. That's also the reason why we go on on these cruises and use these products for ourselves.
Yeah. Right. It's the Disney difference. I'm not saying another brand doesn't do things that are wonderful. They do. They all do. They all, in their own way, try to be
Sure.
wonderful. But the level, the service level, I feel it's practically bar none, honestly. So we thank you. Dustin and I both thank you. I told him from the day I came up with our name and created the page and got going. I said, I want you on soon. We're talking about cruise. I said, we'll do an intro one, we'll do a Disney World one, we'll do a Disneyland one, and I need you on for cruise. And mostly because it's his passion, right? It was his passion when we first met. I watched it grow. I watched him grow, and I was like, please, 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 I need someone like you because this is what I believe is the best way to have a good experience with travel, especially for someone doing it for the very first time, is to have someone who's passionate about it. So we would love to help you too. If you have people who help you already, we get it. We get it. But thank you for coming and listening. And, we're always open. I am at Visit Mickey on Instagram and Facebook. And you find him at Dustin on, wait,
Yeah,
wait, do it again. I can't think of it. Dustin on deck 4 DCL.
there you go.
There we go.
Yeah.
So it's so funny. You're just like saved at my top. I don't have to look at your name anymore. Um, we tag each other so often. But yeah, so please, keep listening wherever you listen to your podcast. If you want to see any of the things we put up on the screen, you can find us on the YouTube channel at Visit Mickey and in the podcast section. So thank you so much for coming. We had a great night. I hope you did too. All right. Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.